Wonderful to accommodate this wonderful 11/11 Remembrance Day. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Mazazi. And one thing that you said was about tradition and how you had the possibility to change it where he didn't. In Celtic terminology, the definition of tradition is the oak tree that holds the acorn close. So now's the time to grow someplace else.
I need to know if Eagle is really ready or if we've got a couple of minutes. Where is he? Is Eagle ready? I got a few minutes. Okay, grandmother, did you tell us about today yet? Yes. Silver Star? Yes, okay. I was trying to remember that a minute ago. What is today to you? Think about it for a minute. It's remembering all your family members who are veterans of these wars and many other Indian wars and all kinds of wars. And it's remembering in a good way, with joy for them, that they're in probably a better place than we are right now as far as effort. I also want to bring to note, and I don't like editing. Hi there. I don't know if we got a camera on this man back here or woman or whoever this is, but we've got a gray in our presence. Want to step in front of the camera for just a minute so we can see you? So wave. That one back there, turn around and wave at it. Say, hi, I'm here. And this one's a benevolent one, from what I've been told. It's very interesting. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Isn't he wonderful? Thank you. Laura Eisenhower spoke in her workshop last night about how the establishment... Oh, there's Don. Everybody turn around and say, hi, Don. Don's helped us for years and years and years. We're so glad to see him here. Anyway, she spoke about the fact that the establishment that's trying to take all our power by scaring us to death and all that stuff all the time have intentionally deleted the power of 13, which as a Cherokee person, sort of, can't claim full blood, but anyway, 13 is a sacred number, and if you add it up together in numerology, it's a 4. It's laying the foundation for, and it's powerful. And did you hear all that conversation about the 13 and how long it's been substantial as a power number? And that we need to get back into those cycles again. So that's the way to contradict all that craziness that all of us are trying to be scared to death by, which is nonsense because they're only scaring themselves. Those who really know aren't. So think of the 13 and talk to these two people, and I want to get them together, so if anybody ever can expedite that, I'm not always around to do it. But Laura and Mazitson may not have had a chance to hear each other speak yet. That's what happens with speakers. They get busy and can't do that. Do you have something you wanted to say? I knew you were doing that.
Just quickly on what she brought to mind was our bodies are a sacred 13 when you think of the two of the ankles, the knees, the hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists, the main joints, and the neck. So you have a 13. So you're a walking 13. And on the overhead is the sacred 13 of the calendar of the 1313s, your cycles of the second quarter and fourth quarter moons that are activating you up through the spine all the way through the skull. So if you don't have the 13, you've, like we discussed in the calendar workshop, you've cut it off at the neck because you have an activation here. It's pictured here going from the big toe up through the skull. And if you don't have that 13th, you have activation to here, and you don't have connection to spirit in a really kind of rough general way. So that was what you reminded me of, is those 13 moons. So if we don't have a 13th floor, this is the 13th floor, guys. So grow your hair long and stay connected to Creator.
Thank you, thank you. Respect, that's what it's about. All right, now I would like to tell you a little bit about our next speaker before he comes into the room because he gets all embarrassed. But I'm going to look at my paperwork because he has formal titled things that I'd like to give honor. You know, we all know him as our chief, the head of our group, along with Blue Star Eagle and others. But actually, Golden Light Eagle is the son of a chief, Chief Black Spotted Horse, who gave him his skin literally a few years ago in Shasta and his name. And you may not know the procession of names in the nations, but when you've come to a certain stage, your people will give you another name. You don't just go out and say, hey, guess who I am today? This is an important thing. And he is one of the original code carriers of Turtle Island, such as Grandmother Silver Star. And Turtle Island is, of course, North America, for any of you who might not happen to know that, maybe out there in TV land. He is a Nakota Sundance chief, Chief Golden Light Eagle at this moment. He's a member of the Nakota ÄHUNK band, I hope, of South Dakota, a spiritual advisor, and one of the 7 Sundance chiefs of the Yankton, Nakota. And he promotes this. This man brings grandmothers to Sundance, and many of the grandmothers who couldn't be here today are actual Sundance. Are there any Sundance grandmothers in here? Look at that. If they can do that, you can do a sweat. It's really important. And he promotes and teaches people this and opens them to greater sight. And that's my opinion, not what's written. Through years of prayer and ceremony with a group of spiritual teachers, he has brought forth interpretations of the star laws, which are always in flux. They're energy. They're like Mother Earth. They're living. So a lot of people will say to me, well, why do you need a symbol? You don't, if you want to stay disconnected. If you want a simple way to connect to certain energies or help your family or help the nation or the world, then the symbols are a profound thing. Some of you might have history with things like witchcraft and stuff, where they would light a candle and put something under it, and witchcraft is not always bad, trust me. The Celts weren't always bad. And so it's a study of nature and how to use it. So if they put a symbol on something, it marked it for its energy, it held the energy for it. So this is what you can use these symbols for, and for helping with the vortexes. Don't go around and make up imaginary vortexes. That could cause Mother Earth some serious distress. But I'm sure she'd correct them anyway. So without any further comment, here comes our beautiful chief. Please stand in honor and join us in singing. Not quite as hot as that one.
What time is it?
You've got till 10 till or right on the hour. You got
11,
50
11?
minutes. Oh, 11, 11? Oh, stop. You tell them that. I'm introducing you on 11, 11.
How mitakiapi? If you look at the clock, it's 11, 11. Red Cloud.
Yes.
Ask for Red Cloud to say a prayer this time for the people.
Can't do it in his tongue. For my people. My heart opens and holds all of you from all nations, all worlds, and all spheres here. And this may sound like strange speech from one called Red Cloud, which is altering at this time. And it is important to know that each one of you holds sacred heart-mind energy. Talk to your soul being. Talk to your ancestors. Talk to them, not at them. Listen. 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 The robin birds outside want water, but the water's frozen over and no one has heard that request to break the ice. The elk people want to know we love them because they carry love energy. They brought us all here in love. When you look at a rainbow, think of them. Think of us. We are all elk people. And they are heart and love. And my heart loves this man called my son in spirit. And in many other times. But my heart loves all of you also. I have stood back for some time with purpose. We all have to check ourselves occasionally to make sure that each sound we utter is in the correct vibration and thought. So I come to you with as open a spirit, mind, and heart as I can offer, that I will hold each of you as sacred if you speak to me as if you were myself, for that is the hardest task, to hold sacred yourself. Please allow yourself to get out of your artificial ego self, out of who you think you are and who you've been told you aren't, and hold yourself right this moment as sacred as anything you can imagine, so that we may hold you closer. We hold all of you in sacred ceremony here and in the intervening days and in our journeys home and always in our heart. That is why those who are on that machine that has vision different places in the world are drawn, for we hold them in heart space. We never forget, because this is remembrance, all those who have come and spoken in this star family for so many years. Many don't walk the earth path any longer, but they walk heart path with us. That is our purpose, to be all one, but unique differential parts, as one finger of one hand is different from another, but it is all one hand. We all are one hand which serves Creator, and whom Creator serves through us, those who need most our help. Let it not be you who thinks of themselves as least. For whom can you help in that way? When I walked this earth plane as Chief Red Cloud, I looked at myself in a diminutive way as just an instrument. And that has allowed me to harm my peoples, because I thought I was intruding if I checked on them, or if I checked on what had happened in history since then. I leave privacy to each of you. But I have found that sometimes we do need to go and make sure our children are tucked into the bed correctly. And we are so welcoming to these little children people that reside in the heart soul of each of you and that reside in physical form here and have come. Thank you all. Bless all of you warriors of all wars and times, you veterans, for we're all veterans of this life walk. But bless you most especially from my heart and admiration. For in our time we thought it was a great honor to pass in a war, and those warriors who have passed and damaged themselves and allowed themselves to be damaged, trying to, quote, fight, deserve special blessing and thanks and care now, as our elders need care and honor. I stand with my grandmother, my real-life grandmother of my walking time last, in this circle of being. And I am so delighted to have found her and now be able to show her the respect that my people of my time did not know to do. It is true they carry the wisdom. It is true they do not carry the vibration of war, though I will warn you not to uprise them too much. It is most important that each of you carry wisdom. Don't look to another for it, although there are many coaches around. Look in your heart mind and know that it exists in you. Call for it within you. And thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Pidama. 1111. It's a potent little number, and I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that number. That's why you're here. It has so much power over your body that it twists your head, right? You'll twist your head this way, and you look at the clock, and it says 11:11, right? How many times did that happen to you? You glance at the clock, 11:11. So you wonder about that at times. What does that mean in my life here? What's going on here? Why does this happen, and why do I keep seeing this number? So have you figured that out? Have you figured that out? What does 11:11 mean? I was at a big festival in California called the Harmony Festival. It was equal to that, pretty close to Woodstock, where it was over 100,000 people, come. And they had the opportunity to open up the festival and close it as well right after a metal rock concert. And it was so amazing because all the headbangers and all that, they were out there and they were doing their thing, they were having a good time. Then the band went off stage, and when I got on, I start singing a song, and the whole stadium went silent. Dead silent. And I gave them the message of their responsibilities here on Mother Earth, and made a prayer, walked off the stage, and the bands were standing there saying, "How did you do that? How did you do that?" I said, "I didn't do anything. Zero. They did that. They remembered." So 11:11, they asked me to present the information over there. They didn't know what it meant. So I told them. 11:11 means 11 minutes after 11. You could go home now. Go live your life. Go do something good. So you got it? Okay, check out. So 11:11, 12:12, 13:13. There's a lot of master numbers, as you know. 111, 222, 333, 444, 555. We're all working under certain master numbers that connect us to certain frequencies of star energies and vibrations, you know, that and times, even times during the day. So we learn about these things. Things happen, time. So we look at what was presented a little bit here with our past speaker here, ÄÄÄ, and he talked about the calendar. Last night he told us tomorrow, under the calendar, it's the day of the snake. Okay, and then boom, the light came on. A little overhead projector with the vortex of judgment, universal law of judgment. The messenger there is the snake under the 11:11 symbol. So he wants to work together with this ways of this ÄÄÄ Ꭿဿ� or the symbols, and working with the calendar of the earth. So they talk to each other, they blend, and it's a lot of times that's what happens. That our ancestors, they give us this calendar of remembrance, the Aztec, the Mayan calendar, and everything fits just perfectly. And they did this thousands and thousands of years ago. So now we're coming back to that time, 11:11. Now when we received information, it took 2 hours to present it on a board, 1996 at that time, but we got it a little bit earlier than that, and I did it on a chalkboard, you know. Everybody else, I wasn't well equipped with working with computers and stuff like that. But I did it in Wagner, South Dakota, and with the help of different ones that put up the event like this. And the twins back here, Joan and Jenny, they were basically the foundation of the Star Knowledge Conference. So could you stand up? I want everybody to recognize you. Thank you from my heart. I love both of you for all these years of helping and being there. Thank you. I love both of you. Okay. Very much. Now, so my presentation isn't here. It's something good to look at. These blankets here, they tell you a story. See, this one here, there's a man that fasted 4 days and 4 nights and prayed for the people. No food, no water. And when he was done, he came and gifted that to me and my companion. And he's sitting over here. Look at, Tom, could you stand up? I thank you for all your prayers. He's a sun dancer as well. So this is very dear to my heart, this blanket, and to our family. So, and this one here, these mean, they're connected, the 8-pointed star. There's a little girl, where's she at? She here? Okay, today we're going to, at some point in time, she asks for a ceremony to name her, spirit name. She gave me this blanket. So one of you in here might get a name, including myself, and we're gonna name her today. Okay? Because the Spirit knows us, the Spirit nations know us by different names because we lived in different worlds. See? We lived in many different worlds. I have many names, and I didn't give them to myself, not even my birth name. So we have to honor this in spirit time. So now, when the Spirit came, they gave us this dream, this vision, and the symbol, and the knowledge that goes with it. And the way it was originally presented, I will do that at this time as fast as I can. That will, because you know these laws, you know what I'm going to talk about. But I don't have the symbol, the written symbol, but I will just voice the meaning of the symbol. Now, the first law that they gave us through ceremony, when we worked with this, I asked my grandson to help me to interpret this because he was very, if you have them, he didn't have any kind of influence in his body, no alcohol, no drugs, there's no influence. He wasn't even almost outside the reservation. So I asked him for help. Grandson, I need your help. And these spirits, these star people gave me some information, and I can't remember because when you come back from dream time and all that, you leave so much, you know, and when you come back through, it's like a funnel of dimension. All this knowledge here, then when you come back through, it's like a pinpoint that you drop down to. And a lot of other stuff that you worked with is stuck out there, you know. So you have to get that back, drop by drop. So we went through ceremony. And when I drew him gave him the first symbol, it was the universal law of free will. And all he did was look at it. He drew it on the ground. Then he said, okay. So we did ceremony. And what came out of his mouth just blew me away because we never talked about these things. So he talked about the first law here. It's not actually the first law. The first law is the universal law of light, sound, and vibration, but I'm just giving you the way it was presented to us at that time. Universal law of free will is you could draw these, or unless you want to, we have the book back there. They're more detailed. They come from three realms of information from the earth nations. The second is from the star nations. The third is from the ascended mastery realms. But I'll give you the first grounded message, which came from the grandfathers. The universal law of free will protects personal freedoms. Now, the grandfathers from all cultures, all races, all creeds, all nations are the protectors of this law. And they're the ones that worked and protected the families against everything and against anyone. And they didn't need what they called a salary to do it. See? And they had the path, the surest path that helped to engrave this free will into the DNA of humanity, and that was called respect. Now, with each law, there is a gift that you retain as you walk, and as you walk with these laws. So the gift to this is integrity. When you have integrity, your word is gold, right? And people listen to you. There's a reason for that. You're an example for what they call walking your talk. Will not your will over anybody. Respect everybody. When you respect everybody, then there's no one can create a disrespect against you. Now the second law. I know we have, like Arcturus is really good. How many Arcturians in here? They're also protectors of free will from the violet, the flame imperishable, you could call it. They are the ones that help to invoke the freedom ray. And they're really good people to have on your side. Very strong people. Work with them. Now we have Kuan Yin, but she also has other names that people remember her by, but you have to use her to access this great karmic board. If you can't remember who you are and what you are doing here, your purpose, your mission, responsibility, draw this law and meditate and call in these masters, and they'll come and celebrate with you, and they'll help you to remember why you're here. Now, the second law, the brother law to this, because the universal is the spiritual, the universal is the feminine law, and the brother law is the spiritual. Freedom of all, spiritual freedom of all. The bear people, protected and guardians of this law, it's Matomani, walking bear. And he works and helps you to remember to keep your doors open that you've closed. And they're talking about these doorways right here, from your crown to your root, from your root to your crown. And most of the time you close one doorway, and it's called the heart. And many of us used to blame, or we still blame other people for closing your heart, and that's not the case. The only one that could close that heart is you. Blaming days are over. Keep your temples, your altars open, so things could just go right through, in and out. It's a gift. There's nothing, once you close this, it'll block everything. You'll get sick. You'll get crabby and grumpy. I heard some of you this morning. Open that up. So, but the bear people remind you as well to pick up your sacred responsibilities. A lot of us we're afraid because we put something in front of us that we felt was so big and so important, that was more important than anything else. And that's what stopped us, because we're afraid of what people are going to think about you, what they're going to say about you, what they're going to do. And that little tiny thing that you make into something so great is called fear. If you just knock that away, believe in yourself, you could do whatever. Because that's one of the keys, is that the thing, you don't have to believe in God. You don't have to believe in the devil. You don't have to believe in anything. The only thing you need to believe in is in yourself. See? Because you have it all right here. You have everything that's outside of yourself. It's all right here. But once you believe, and actually believe with no doubt, the doors are just wide open for everything. So we're slowly learning about this. And even when we do learn about it, seems like we forget about it once we walk out that door. Hang on to that. Hang on to yourself all the time. Now, that's the spiritual freedom. So when you let everyone free, then they're free. So now we have what they call the ṕဿဿ, the cloud people. They have spiritual freedom. Look at the clouds. They know how to move together. They could even go through each other and still keep the same form. And that's how we need to react as people with each other. No confrontation, to move through each other's spirit in a very sacred way. Krishna, he's also Alkman. Dharma, working with the dharmic ways. You got karma. Change your karma into dharma, a good lesson. And from your dharma to compassion, and from compassion into your grace. Okay, now we have the universal law of change, and it's guarded by guess who? The butterflies. They're masters of change, right? If you look at them, it's just so amazing, so much miracles that happen inside that little cocoon. Because you actually visualize what takes place in there. And they just don't do it once. They do it twice, sometimes 3 times just to become a butterfly. So change. Everybody, we go through that every second, every moment in our life. And sometimes the change comes in a small package, some in an instant, just monumental movement that blows everybody away. And that's up to you. A lot of times we did talk about people don't like you to change. They want you to be a certain way because you are their security. Once you go outside their box, they start hollering and screaming. They want you to stay the same way. If you go to a class reunion, I know some of you have, you look at each other, 20, 30, 40 years, and you'll see, if you see somebody, oh, you're still the same person, that person's in trouble. And if you don't I used to know you, but no, you know, that's good. That's good. So that's your protection, is to constantly change into something that we call a butterfly. There's 4 stages. As an egg, we all come from the egg of the woman. We all come from the egg of the divinity of the feminine, the mama. And mamas are very sacred. They're very sacred. Mother is a sacred word, the most sacred word. So we come from that egg, and from there, that egg comes into this little caterpillar, you could say. And this little caterpillar, as you grow in life, you eat and you nourish yourself with knowledge and experiences and all that. Then there's going to be a time when you're going to come into some difficulty, some chaos, some turmoil. Then you go into a cocoon, because your cocoon is your most protective shell that you have. Your cocoon is, in other words, go into your heart, because that's the most protective place. When your heart means go sing, go dance, go do some artwork, go create a joke, make somebody laugh. Anything that enlivens the heart is your cocoon. That's your protection. See? And when you're done, you come out and you share your experiences with everybody. You're that butterfly that nourishes on the nectars of life. So that's that the butterfly talks about. The waters of life. Mini Wichoni is about star knowledge, water. Water is constantly changing the landscape. It's the most powerful force here, and it could dissolve anything. It could design stone, you know. It could melt down metal. It could take anything. It's potent, and it keeps you alive. So waters, there's so much to that, and it reinvigorates stagnant life cycles. And they say that there's stagnancy in the waters. They say no, there's just only something that moves real slow or something that moves really fast. See, you're always moving no matter what. So remember the water. We have a tribute, internal tribute to Dr. Emoto. He brought a lot of information for all of us. And we knew this information on other levels, on internal levels. Our mother, my brother and I's mother, she would always pray with her water, you know. She'd tell us to pray with the water. She didn't say why, you know, just did it. But I met Dr. Emoto in Miami. And at that time, I seen these pictures that he had. Over here, another set of pictures over here. And these are so beautiful. Look like snowflakes at first, and I start reading the captions, taken from the Water of Lourdes, you know. Fatima, da-da-da, you know. And they had all these little designs on it, real pretty. And over here, New York City apartment, you know, and there was like gook. And I said, oh, I know what this means, and I know what that means. And then he had a bottle of water sitting in front of him like this. So I said, what's that? So he said, oh, you take that, take a drop of water of that. You put it in this, they had a gallon of water over here. You put a drop in there, and he showed a picture in the molecule, the crystalline molecule that was originally intended in here will look like this. And he showed a picture. So I was looking at, so I said, how much? He said, 30. I said, it's free. That's what sometimes we have to say. Bodhisattva. The Bodhisattva mystery works with the laws of change. Now the spiritual growth of man is guarded by the Waicha, and that means the fireflies. The fireflies work with this growth, and the fireflies remind us that they said that human beings, our light used to be brighter than theirs. See? They said, but in the future it's going to be bright again. So that means we're doing okay. Just keep up the good work. And how you brighten your aura. People could feel you, right? They could see your light. They feel your light. And depending, sometimes how your aura works is sometimes we put a little light out there yesterday about it. Sometimes you think about a person, comes in your mind, and all of a sudden, maybe 10 minutes later, boom, 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 somebody knocks on the door, and it's them. And you say, I was just thinking about you. Okay, now what I did is I measured the time. From the time I thought about that person, from the time that person even called or was traveling, they have a good aura. Or either your aura extending and touching theirs, or theirs are extending and touching yours. But either way, it's a strong aura when that happens. So keep connected to that person. You create your auric field by your meditation. You could extend it as far as you want through your ceremonies, your personal ceremonies, through sundance, through sweat lodge like we had last night, where those guys were projecting their aura way out. I heard one say, "Get me out of here." Was that you? Oh, that's. Their aura was way out, shot way out. So how you could feel somebody's aura sometimes, and this is life, because we're so sensitive now to vibration, to light, is that we could take a big room, bigger than this, and have all of us sit up front, maybe about 100 feet back there, leave it empty. We could sit here and talk just this way. And if you walk into that room and way in the back, open the door as quiet as you can and walk in, close it. If your auric field is strong, everybody in that room will turn. You'll turn heads. You have that power because of your spirit. Keep your spirit bright. So this is what the fireflies are talking about. We have to do this because the future depends on us. Look what's happening to our atmospheres and our waters and things. So the guardian of the mind, Saint Germain, are the star guardians and the ascended masters. Now we have this law of movement and balance. The universal law of movement and balance is guarded by what we call the Hoga Iota Trunka, the whale people. Now the whale people remind us that whatever we think, say, and do affects 7 generations. 7 generations. And to remind you that you have 7 gifts. And the first gift that you have is the gift of sight. Utilizing your spiritual sight. See, not just your physical sight, but you have another sight, an internal light that shows you the way. You have the gift of sound, which is also the gift of song. And the true song, whether you could sing or not, because a lot of times we think of song as singing or listen to music, but the true song is right here. Whatever comes from your heart is a song as well. Now we have the gift of choice. Choice, making decisions. And however you make a decision, make sure that you do it out of love. If you start screaming and say, don't do this, don't do that, blah, 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 and come from another space, there's a little thing that rolls back every now and then that bites you in the ass. It's called karma. So create good decisions and always make them from the heart. Take your time with them. If you don't agree with something, don't make a decision. Or if it's through anger, don't make a decision. Go out for a walk. Hour, a week, maybe a day, maybe a month, maybe a year, 3 years, whatever it takes to get your
Is it on? Oh, crap.
to realign realign. Testing 1, 2. This is blinking red.
They're both.
Okay. So to realign yourself back to your heart, and you come back and give your best answer. I remember one of my friends, I'll give him his name, he's gone to the other world. His name is Johnny Stricker. He asked, I met him on the street one day. He said, Lauren, I got that answer to that question you asked me 6 years ago. He said, pull your car over here, I'll tell you. So it was across the street, so I was driving. I said, what the hell did I ask him? So that was what people do, at home. You ask a question. If they don't answer, they're going to go search for the good answer for you. They won't say nothing. And sometimes you think you're you're just like pushing you away, or, it's not that way. They love you so much at times they won't answer, but they'll give you the answer later. There's a little bit more bass than usual that's needed on here. Testing 1, 2. Okay, so choices. Make your choices and your decisions from the heart, because the next movement is action. The next gift is action. Whatever you create through the heart creates action. And whatever you see that's in front of you and see the movement that you make from your choice, and if it's beautiful, hey, your choices were good. You don't have to worry about that thing that's going to bite you. Okay? Now, you have the gift of creation. You are a creator. You are a creator. Every moment you're creating something in your mind. Some of you aren't even here. Your mind's over there, down there in Big Mac or something. You're creating your future. Some of you meat eaters. So your creation, the best thing to do, real simple, is learn how to create a smile. Okay? Create a smile. Yukwala is really good at that. All he has to do is just shed a tear and all his makeup goes down right here. So laughter is a beautiful medicine. Laughter cures everything. Cancer. Right? Laughter. Learn how to create laughter. Learn how to create a smile in people. Say something stupid. You do anyway, but make them laugh out of it. Tell a joke that's not funny. And they'll, just learn to laugh at a stupid joke too, to make that person feel good. So, creation. You're the creator of your world. Make it good. If you don't like it, back up. Start all over again. Now, we have also this gift of sacrifice. Sacrifice. On an individual level, sacrifice means, to me, to sacrifice your ego. Learn how to speak without using the word I. Okay? I remember a while back, I think my brother Don, at a conference and was checking in the back, was sitting at this. Every speaker that was come up here, as soon as they used the word I, we put a check by their name. Doop, boom, doop, boom. And that tells you where that person is in their life. Some are almost nothing. See? Follow me, I'm good. I got all the answers. It's like a false prophet syndrome. Pay attention to that. And there's some good stories out there. So sacrifice and learn from the masters, and you're one of them. The information don't belong to you. It belongs to the people. It belongs to the children. It belongs to the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th generations from here. We got it freely from source. You give freely. Okay, sacrifice. But there's many other meanings and descriptions and ideas that you give for sacrifice, right? There's so much there, the gift of sacrifice. You have the gift of thought. That whatever you think will come to be. So that knocks, when you actually believe in that and live it and walk that, then you never worry. Worry doesn't exist in your life. Spirit says, don't put yourself through that. Don't put your mind through that. Don't put your heart through that. Don't put your spirit through that. Your body. Don't do that. Everything is going to be all right. But we're trained to worry. We're taught to worry. As soon as you get up, first thing, I got to go to work. I'm going to be late. So there's no need. If you're late, so what? You'll always be on time, though. Okay, so the whale reminds us of that. And the whale works with the ﷺ, which means the Pleiades, and that's how we've been grown up with the ways of the Pleiadians. Our grandmas. So we worked with 7 grandmas, and we chakpe Toi, we chakpe Sanwi, we chakpe Luta, and Uchikia, Wagmaiza, Washtewi, Inawaka, and my brother used the word yesterday, bison. The Patesa, Chikala, Washtewi, the white buffalo calf woman. And my companion said, bison, we're going to have to change that name from white buffalo calf woman to white bison woman. White bison calf woman. And I thought that was funny, but maybe they don't think so. Maitreya. So they work with these laws. Now, strength, health, and happiness, the grandmothers, Unchi, the Unchi means the grandmothers of all grandmothers, and the grandmothers of all grandmothers is every grandmother in this solar system. It's a collective. So the grandmothers, it's a very potent energy source, love, and a big ball of love, galactic love. But they remind us very simply that we're not alone. We have on this side on you, your grandpas are on this side, and your grandma, your holy father's in front of you, your holy mother's always behind you, your mystery father above you, and your mystery mother is always below you. You got 6 very beautiful entities, spirits, whatever you want to call them, ancestors with you at all times. Okay. So we have that. And they say that you are all connected. You are all connected. You are all connected, and to remember that. Now that we have from the spiritual strength, health, and happiness, we have the innocence, truth, and family. The spiders, the grandmother's spiders work with that. Now, the spiders work a lot of times with relationships, because we know they tell us that all of us are connected to the heart, from the heart. There's golden strands coming from the heart and connected with everybody in here. That's the web. And if something's going on over here on the web, everybody feels it. They know it. A lot of times they don't pay attention to it. But they said in order for the relationship to right itself, that you could connect, they could disconnect. It's similar to like getting a divorce. You're fighting, you don't want to disconnect, fighting over this and that. But the grandma says, you disconnect that cord, and they'll replace it with the silver strand. I call it understanding, and that's when the little bright lights come on, and a little bit of love comes back. And they said, okay, honey, you could get your divorce. Okay, go ahead. I'll see you in court. You can have everything. Except my lamp, my paddleboard. Remember the jerk? Yeah. So So the spiders say that they'll help you to unweave all those webs that you've woven around yourself. See? And they'll help you to clean out all those cobwebs that you have in your mind so that there'll be some kind of a clarity that comes out through here. So there's so much here that all the birds, the flying ones, the ones that are on 4 legs, the elk, the deer, they're all messengers of the 1111. And Emmanuel talked about this 2,000 years ago about the laws of creation. And today we call it 1111, 12:12, 13:13, the laws. So we only have so much time to talk about them because they go into depth. So we do have that little book back there that has been inducted right into Smithsonian a couple times with the help of Margaret and Barbara. Could you please stand up? Because I really love these two grandmas. They travel the world. And somebody asked them where they get all their money from. It's just kind of obvious that they just use their looks. Okay. Thank you very much from my heart. So there's the Library of Congress wanted these. They wanted to own these laws. They wanted to, they even made contract and said that these will belong to us. And if you want to talk about them, you call us and ask for permission. Remember that? Yeah. And that if we decide to publish and make this into a book, well, we only give you 2%. And I thought Library of Congress was cool, but they're not. So that was on that level. And either way, if we did it, so what? We'll still talk about them. So I want to thank you. There's so much here, and we can't get by it. There's more there, what the Spirit says, more in detail. And I want to thank you for coming here. We're going to probably do the 12:12 teachings today, which work with these 8-pointed stars here. Each point represents something. There's a message, the laws as well. So at what time is it? At 1 o'clock, my lecture, my workshop. So if you're interested in the 12 dimensional areas, across the street over here. Yeah, this one here, then the one across the street there. So thank you. Go eat, fill your bellies, and we'll see you. We got one quick thing. Pidama.
Thank you. Bless you. Everybody give this man a great hand. Stand. The quick